Great to have you with us as we wrap up the week. Off we go this weekend. Millions of Americans will come together and unite once again behind the NFL. Championship weekend is just about here, and with millions in bets being placed, we will ask the man who sets the odds for DraftKings where he'd put his money this weekend. What's his best bet? That's ahead. But first, as a nation, we are also becoming more united behind our men and women in blue, especially after a particularly brutal week for them. And that is the pulse of America. There was a sea of blue as NYPD officer Jason Rivera was laid to rest today, with thousands in attendance filling Manhattan streets. The pictures were unbelievable from New York. The department promoted him posthumously to detective first grade. He and his partner were responding to a domestic dispute in Harlem last week. Both of them were shot and killed. Rivera, a rookie, just 22 years old, his widow at the funeral, calling for an end to the violence against officers, against everyone.
The system continues to fail us. We are not safe anymore. I know you were tired of these laws, especially the ones from the new DA. I hope he's watching you speak through me right now. I'm sure all of our blue family is tired too. But I promise, we promise, that your death won't be in vain.
We edited her remarks, but she got a 35-second ovation during her eulogy for the comments about the city changing its crime policies. Services for Rivera's partner, Wilbert Mora, will be held next week. Well, despite all that gunfire, the news was a little better in Houston, where 3 officers were shot in a standoff with a carjacker, as you could hear there. Those officers seen on video running toward the suspect's gunfire. 2 of them have now been released from the hospital. A third is in stable condition and is expected to be okay. Still, the brazen acts of the suspect had the mayor and police commissioner saying what many of you are thinking: enough is enough.
These are inherently right now dangerous times, and that was demonstrated again today. We are living in inherently dangerous time, and it's going to take all of us working together to create and have a very safe city.
Houston, of course, still reeling from the shooting death of Harris County Sheriff's Deputy Charles Galloway. He was shot during a traffic stop on Sunday. The suspect fled to the southern border, was arrested on Wednesday, and it doesn't stop there. How about Milwaukee? 3 officers shot in the past 2 weeks, 2 in the past couple of days. The latest, an officer who walked up to a driver who appeared sick because he was slumped over the wheel. That suspect ran away, started firing. Both the officer and the suspect were hit. And how about this wild video out of Chicago? This happened just the other night. Police cornered a carjacking suspect at a red light, and then gunfire erupts from inside the car. One officer you see there on the passenger side barely avoids getting shot. Several shots then fired into the car, the windshield riddled with bullet holes. These officers were not hit. The suspects seemed to just fire at will once the officers approached. They were lucky to escape this situation. One of the suspects was taken to the hospital for treatment. By the way, 2 police officers were also shot this week in St. Louis. So you've probably lost count. It's a lot to keep track of. That's 4 in Houston, 2 in Milwaukee, plus another the week before, 2 in St. Louis, 2 in New York, just in the past week or so. Brian Entin is in Houston for us tonight. Brian, hearing the mayor and the police chief there, it just feels like something is different, which is what I felt after the shootings in New York. The reaction, the response, partisan politics aside, people have had enough.
Yeah, it certainly does feel like that, Joe, being here and covering these shootings throughout the week. It feels like the city leaders are done sugarcoating these massive issues, and there is now sort of an anger in their voice where they are saying enough is enough. You heard the mayor of Houston say, we live in dangerous times. I mean, he's telling the entire city of Houston right now that this is basically a dangerous place, and they're realizing that the shootings and the killings of police officers just can't go on in this country.
What do we know, Brian, about the suspect in that Houston shooting? I know it actually happened and unfolded across two different areas of the city.
I mean, this was wild. This was crazier than what you even see in a movie. We know the suspect has been arrested about 15 times in the past. He should have never been out of jail, according to the police union. Started in one part of the city. He shot at police back and forth, carjacked a car. It actually ended here. And when I say this is crazy, I mean, this is the guy's house where he held up. And you see how it's all boarded up right here? That's because they actually used like a little robot police tank to bust in the side of the house to get this guy to surrender because he had an automatic weapon, Joe, and he was shooting out all of his windows at police. It is really just a miracle that all the officers survived here.
Yeah, not to mention the people in that neighborhood, although I'm sure they cleared them out as well. I can only imagine what that scene was like in both locations of Houston. But again, we're glad the officers were all okay there. Brian Entin live for us in Houston. Thanks for the update. Let's get more now from two law enforcement officers, Sheriff Vernon Stanforth of Fayette County, Ohio, and retired Missouri State Highway Patrol Captain Ron Johnson. We've had you both on before. It's great to see you again. Sheriff, let's start with you and this video from Chicago. I actually watched the aftermath of this from my apartment downtown, and when I saw this video, it almost looked to me like urban warfare. I mean, the video is just crazy.
Well, we think we're in the middle of a war. Just no one's declared it yet. This is what we're seeing all across Middle America. Just in every community, we're seeing uptick in violence. This open warfare against law enforcement, and that's also a warfare against our society. And they've got to take out our law enforcement to be able to attack our society. That's the first line of defense.
Captain, go ahead, Sheriff. Finish up.
We're doing our best to be out there. And you look at the men and women that are putting their lives on the line every day that they're on the job.
Captain, you leave every day, and officers leave the house in that uniform knowing there's a possibility they could come under fire. Do you feel like officers today feel like that chance is even greater after seeing what's been happening here?
Yes, it is. And I've talked to some police wives who said when their husbands were going to work, they were always afraid. But they're saying now they want their husbands or their wives to be in different professions. And so it is dangerous, and it has increased. And like the sheriff said, it's a sense of war is what we would look at, and it seems to be.
Right. I mean, as we look at this video again, Sheriff, I mean, it happened so quickly and so brazenly, and not to mention the fact that there are people in other cars around this area.
These things happen in a blink of an eye. We don't have time to dial social workers to handle this situation. The police officers are out on the street are the ones that's responding to that, and they have to be able to act quickly. They're trained to act quickly. They're trained to make that assessment, and now they're being chastised for making those calls. They're afraid to do anything. We've seen an onslaught of crime occurring because we've neutralized our law enforcement, and they've been attacked from the very top ranks of our government to our local governments. Law enforcement are afraid to act. And this is just the beginning of what we're afraid we're going to see across America.
Captain, we also saw a similar situation in Houston where these officers got out to try to approach someone who was involved in a disturbance, and they were fired upon as soon as they got out of their vehicles. Here's a little bit more I want to play from the Houston Police Commissioner. I'll get your comment afterwards, Captain.
Sure.
It's not really a difficult thing. Bad, dangerous people, it's a place for them, and that's in jail.
So what's going on, Captain, in your opinion? Are criminals, are they getting desperate? Are they feeling emboldened? Do they just not care?
I think they're feeling emboldened. I think there is a sense of not caring. Police reform, I think a lot of us will agree that our justice system needs police reform, but we also have to make sure that we understand the difference, that our police have to have the tools, do their job, think and react to things in a quick manner. And I think we have to make sure we give them that and that support, because they're there to protect our country. There's gun violence is impacting communities throughout our country. A lot of these incidents that we see our police are responding to are there to protect and serve. And so we have to definitely give them the tools and be supportive in that way so we can impact what's going on in our country, because this gun violence is really threatening our country in many ways.
You mentioned the tools. I can tell you what happened in Chicago here. There was an alderman who had some money that he could use, discretionary money, and he used that money to buy these license plate readers that are mounted on patrol cars and also around downtown Chicago. And that's how they found this vehicle that had been carjacked earlier in the day. And when it showed up on this license plate reader, they were able to bring the officers in, and you see what happened right after that. Sheriff, the other challenge here that we've heard so much about is the fact that so many law enforcement officers are either resigning or retiring, in part because of what's going on here. And we know departments nationwide are down, in some cases, hundreds of officers.
The percentage is probably the same all across the country. I'm down a significant percentage of deputies, probably 25%. And I know that the larger communities, I'm a small county, small community. So when you say 200 in a large city, that's a lot of people. But you can't do the recruitment's tough. People don't want to get into this job. They're going to see what we saw today in New York City, and they don't want that to be their loved one that's being mourned.
Captain, on the way out here, your final thoughts on what police can do, because it seems like people are asking an awful lot of the police. How much realistically can police do?
I think right now we have to look at our gun laws in our country. Police are going to be vigilant. We're going to always have police. Like the sheriff said, it's hard to get police to come into the profession, but the police are strong, they're talented, they're dedicated, and we just have to make sure that those that can change the laws and impact those laws are doing that, and not just when the police officers hurts them. We lost a hero. Well, truly believing we're heroes, you have to make sure you give those tools, pass those laws, and we have to address gun laws in our country.
Two great voices to start us off tonight. Sheriff Vernon Stanforth of Fayette County, Ohio, and retired Missouri State Highway Patrolman Ron Johnson. It's great to have you both back again. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We do have some breaking news we want to pass along at this hour. President Biden now saying that he will deploy U.S. troops to Eastern Europe and NATO countries in, quote, the near term. Asked about the number of NATO countries that he would send troops to, the president responded, quote, not too many. Earlier today, the Pentagon warned that Russian President Vladimir Putin now has a complete range of military options if he decides to invade Ukraine. And now there are reports from Reuters that the troop buildup includes blood supplies on the front line, seemingly for any of the injured. That's an ominous sign for watchers indeed. Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley, provided a frank assessment of the situation today, saying the size and scope of Russia's actions are cause for concern.
If that was unleashed on Ukraine, it would be significant, very significant, and it would result in a significant amount of casualties. And you can imagine what that might look like in dense urban areas, along roads and so on and so forth. It would be horrific.
So this warning comes as Russia's foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov, said his country does not want war, but would not allow its interests to be rudely attacked or ignored either. For more on this, a great voice, Don Jensen. He's the director of Russia and Europe at the U.S. Institute of Peace. Don, it's great to see you again. It's been a little while. It's a good time to bring you on.
It has been. Thank you.
Yeah, as well.
Thank you for having me on.
You're the Russian expert. So what do you make of all of this? Because I think none of us really know what to think at this point. Does Putin need a way to save face here?
Well, I think we're not close to that yet. What Putin is doing, he's doing what the Russians do, which is called reflexive control. Get the opponent, us, to do what the Kremlin wants, one way or the other. And that could be military, it could be weaponizing history, it could be money, it could be threats, it could be dividing us from our allies. And that's what he's doing here. He's exploiting, he's looking for weakness, and he's trying to exploit that weakness. Yeah. So what you're seeing now is a series of escalation. Where it will end, I'm not sure. He's certainly ready to attack militarily. Will he do that in the end, in a number of weeks, or tomorrow, or next month? We have to see. And that's what everybody is so concerned about.
Do you think the Olympics play into that timetable?
Oh, absolutely. There's all sorts of stories that the Chinese leadership does not want him to move militarily till the end of the Olympics, which is about February 20th. But there are a number of factors which suggest that period would be the period of most danger. There's troop exercises with Belarus, the weather, all these considerations. He needs to get a little bit more equipment in place. That will be, I think, the peak of the danger. But who knows? It's reflexive control. They might surprise us and do during the Olympics. We just don't know, so we have to be ready.
You've laid out a number of possibilities here, Don, and I'm sure all of them are in play in some way, shape, or form. I'm wondering if Putin has maybe backed himself into a corner here. If he doesn't invade at this point, is he maybe giving in to NATO, which appears at least to be part of his motivation in the first place to keep the Ukraine out of NATO?
Excellent question. I think it's too early to say he's trying to back out. This is a guy, after all, who's not known for self-reflection. What he's trying to do is see where he can push. When it becomes clear he can't push further, then it's up to him to act militarily or back off. I wouldn't say face-saving. And that, if backing off is what he chooses, that will be done with a lot of propaganda to make him look good. Right. That will be done with a lot of propaganda to say the Americans are giving what he wanted. But we're not there yet, and we certainly are not at a face-saving moment. What we're looking at is each side trying to explore where there's room for negotiation, where there's room for further talk, and we have told him there's not going to be a Russian control over NATO. We decide, our alliance decides who to add. Ukraine is not ready yet, but it might be. And that's going to be done without reference to Russia and Russia's dictates, which are cooked up, frankly, and done partly to keep the regime in power over there.
Right. I'm wondering, and I'm hearing more and more, Don, about the possibility that Putin's maybe just stirring things up. He's trying to maybe rattle, Russian nationalism. And at the same time, he's making us scramble. All right. I mean, now we're going to move, troops to Eastern Europe and NATO countries. And, we have enough going on. And now we have this on our plate, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Chaos for strategic advantage is what he wants to do. Remember, in the 2016 presidential elections, it worked pretty well then. But now it is exactly as described, Joe. It's playing off one ally against another, Germany and France against us, keeping us uncertain about his military intentions. Mm-hmm. He could do a lot, as the chairman said. He could do just something very, very similar. But keeping us on edge is part of the deal, because by keeping us on edge, he sees Russia as weakening the United States, and that's his fundamental goal.
This is why we love having you on, Don Jensen. It's always a pleasure to get smarter at the end of your interviews and teach us more about Russia. From the U.S. Institute of Peace, thanks again for the time. Have a good weekend, Don.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
This weekend, our attention turns back to pro football championship week in the NFL. So what's the best bet of the weekend? We're going to ask the top odds maker at DraftKings that question. Where should you put your money? Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes is preparing to play in his fourth consecutive AFC Championship game this weekend. The 2018 NFL MVP, the 2019 Super Bowl MVP, and he is one cool cat. Now we have the science to prove it. During last week's thrilling overtime win against the Bills, Mahomes wore a Whoop Fitness heart rate tracker, and his peak heart rate came on his first quarter touchdown run, topping at 191 beats per minute. But what may be most impressive is that his heart rate was actually at its lowest when the pressure was highest during the final 2 minutes of the game and overtime. Mahomes was able to achieve what's called flow state during that time. According to his trainer, another name for flow state that you probably heard of is being in the zone. He definitely was, man, one cool customer. We'll see if Mahomes can keep his cool and advance to his third straight Super Bowl this weekend. I'm sure that $500 million contract probably helps keep his blood pressure down. But speaking of Mahomes, his Chiefs will take on the Bengals this weekend for a chance again at their third straight Super Bowl appearance. The Rams host the San Francisco 49ers. Niners have beaten the Rams 6 straight times at the site of this year's Super Bowl, SoFi Stadium in L.A. So who you got this weekend? We have someone to answer that question, and he's perfect. 2021 Sports Betting Hall of Fame inductee and DraftKings Director of Race and Sportsbook Operations, Johnny Avello. Man, how's that for an introduction? Good grief. Who you got, Johnny?
Pretty good, Joe. Thank you much. Pleasure to be with you.
Yeah, so let's start with the Bengals and the Chiefs. So the Bengals are getting 7 here. Who do you like?
Well, Joe, remember that I'm an odds maker and not a fortune teller. So, odds makers don't necessarily pick winners. We try to put up a line where we get equal action. Yeah. People bet it because of, a side that they like. Now, I can tell you what we opened the game. We opened this game 6.5. which means the Chiefs would have to win by 7 for you to collect on your bet. But now we are at 7, which means that the Chiefs would have to win by more than 7 or you get your money back. So I'd say there's about 75% of all the money so far on that game. Long way to go. Probably only 20% of the money in is on the Chiefs. They also like the total amount of points scored in the game. We opened at 51.5. That's up to 54.5. So I guess it's all about what they saw last week. They think that the Chiefs can run up and down the field at will.
Right. I mean, you just pointed it out, and it's a great point to make, Johnny, that you're not making predictions, but you guys always seem to find that number, and I'm wondering how, right? And you said it's so that you get action on both sides of the bet, but it always seems to work out. Let's say you're giving somebody 2.5 points, and they win by 2. How do you guys do that?
Well, we are right a lot, but we're wrong a lot too. And it's not about being right or wrong. It's about trying to get that balance on the game. Now, the reason we are close a lot of times is because the spreads are formulated on what they call power ratings. It's about teams' offensive production and defense and some intangibles that go into it. And so when we crunch that, that's the number that we think the team should be favored by, and they happen to win by that in numerous occasions. But there are times, Joe, if you're paying attention, that we'll have a team a 12-point favorite, and the other side will win by 12.
Yeah. All right, so Rams and Niners, you had the Rams. They're 3.5-point favorites here. Where's the money on this game?
It's on the Rams. We have not moved this line much. We opened 3.5. We're still at 3.5. So there's been minimal movement, but the Rams are the choice on the money so far, with about 60% of the money on the Rams side. You're right. They've played 3 times this year. 49ers did sneak out a win in the last one after being down substantially in the game. But, the Rams are at home for this one. And if the Rams can win this one, actually playing the Super Bowl at home, and that would be the second year in a row that a team got to play in the Super Bowl at home after it never happened in the previous games.
Wouldn't that be something? So I know this is not necessarily what you do, but help us out here, Johnny. What's the best way to try to win, right? I've always heard bet what you know and stick to that. Don't bet on sports or things or games or teams that you don't know or conferences you don't know. But obviously, even then, there are no guarantees here. What's your advice?
I agree with that, Joe. I think it's also important to try to get the best betting number you can get. If they're all the same, then your choices are to bet with DraftKings all the time. We've got the best platform. We've got probably more options out there than anybody else. But it's important to try to get a good number for laying if you can. Also look at the money line. Sometimes you get good value there. The money line is where the team just has to win the game, right, and not have to cover the point spread. And plus, look at some of those other options we offer, like on passing yards and rushing yards and first touchdown score. I think there's some value there also to be found. You mentioned DraftKings, Johnny. You're a prime example, really, of how much the gambling world has changed. You used to work in Vegas, and now you set the DraftKings line. Can you believe where we are right now and how far we've come? I mean, all you need is your phone. Well, I've been with DraftKings a little over 3 years, and if you would have asked me prior to that 5 years, I would have told you that sports gambling would have never been outside of Las Vegas. But, with the overturn of PASPA, look at us now. We're 18 states and growing, and just opened up today in Louisiana on the digital side. So, and there's a lot more to go. So, I'm surprised. And I'm very happy to be doing what I'm doing. I've enjoyed this business for over 40 years. Yeah, I mean, New York's reporting more than $1 billion wagered in the first 2 weeks. They could set a record handle in the first month with mobile betting. Well, we know there's a lot of people that like to gamble and know how to gamble in New York. But I think also up where you are, Joe, there's some pretty savvy, sharp customers up there, too. We're seeing it, for sure. Hey, before we let you go, Johnny, are there any interesting prop bets? Because sometimes, at least in the Super Bowl, you'll see some of them. Are there any of them this weekend you like? Yeah, we have the most receiving yards. We got Cooper Kupp, the favorite. He seems to catch a lot of passes, and it usually puts a lot of yards together. And then in the rushing yards, we have Elijah Mitchell, the favorite. But, who knows? That's wide open. Joe Mixon could have a good day, too. So, if you like to bet chalk, we have it there. If you're looking for value and try to get some good-sized pluses, we have those too. So, like I said, Joe, we just put them up and just hope the customers enjoy what we do.
Not as someone who sets the line, Johnny, but just as a football fan, who do you think wins this weekend? Just straight up, no points, who wins?
You know, I think the Chiefs will win, Joe, because, they're a tough team to stop. If you have Mahomes needs to score late in the game, he's the kind of guy that can get it done for you.
He proved that last weekend.
The other game to me is just totally random.
Toss up. All right. DraftKings Director of Race and Sportsbook Operations, Johnny Avello. Good to see you, Johnny. Enjoy the weekend.
Thank you, Joe.
Imagine this, you're on a snow-covered bridge on your morning commute when you hear a loud boom and suddenly the bridge you're on is crumbling. That's what happened to 10 people this morning in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Take a look at the video. Several vehicles, including a bus, were on the bridge at the time. Some of them went plummeting into the park underneath the bridge that they were driving on. 10 people suffered minor injuries. 4 of them were hospitalized. The notable coincidence here, this crash happened just hours before President Biden was scheduled to speak in that area about the bipartisan infrastructure bill. He says he plans to fix as many bridges as possible in the country.
And they're gonna fix them all. Not a joke. This is going to be a gigantic change, and there's 43,000 nationwide, and we're sending the money.
Want to bring in now founder and CEO of Rebel Communications and Democratic strategist Laura Fink and Vice President of TAG Strategies and Republican strategist Erin Perrine. Erin, let's start with you. I'm wondering, does this make the bill a little more bipartisan now beyond the 13 Republicans who voted for it and got death threats as a result?
Well, the bill should have been much more bipartisan, but Democrats made a fatal error on the front end of that legislation, which was to try and tie it to Build Back Better, which was a huge bill that is full of partisan priorities for Democrats. Infrastructure is a bipartisan item that is widely supported, but when Democrats play political games with it, it makes it so much tougher for anybody to stand there and say, yes, I'm going to vote for an infrastructure package, when Democrats are saying it is the gateway to being able to pass their disastrous Build Back Better legislation, which will try and decimate and restructure the entire nation as we know it. So listen, bridges should be rebuilt. We should have a strong infrastructure. That is what the federal government should do. But Democrats played political games with the infrastructure package, and that's why they got so little Republican support on it.
Well, it wasn't tied to Build Back Better in the end, Laura, and they lost.
It wasn't tied to Build Back Better, but I think it was 19 Republicans, Joe. And,
okay.
Bravo to them. But many, many more are claiming credit even though they voted against it. That's how popular this bipartisan infrastructure bill is. I didn't realize from my colleague over there that it was causing the apocalypse. I just think it's, putting some internet underground and getting your bridges built in the air. So all in all, a good thing for all Americans, getting our infrastructure and our economy back on track.
Laura, let me get you on one other thing here. A lot of talk this morning that 2 of the top 3 Democrats in Pennsylvania weren't going to meet with the president. One of them in the end did. What's going on? Why we saw what happened in Georgia where there were several who didn't want to meet with him. Why no photo op?
Well, when your polling numbers are hovering right around 40%, the candidates that are on your team sometimes have to take a step back and establish their independence. I think that's what we're seeing in Pennsylvania. The Democratic Party has always been a big tent, and we've also always understood that sometimes you got to distance yourself from the head of your party and your leader. Something on the Republican side these days we don't see a lot of. But expect this. Biden's poll numbers go up closer to the election. They're going to come running back for a big old Biden bear hug. So all in a day's life in politics.
Good time. All right, we'll see. Erin, let's get you on the Supreme Court situation. We'll get Laura afterwards, but let's listen first to some of the comments that we're hearing after the president said he would appoint a black woman. Here's Trevor Noah again.
Joe Biden, you may remember, promised during the campaign that he was going to nominate a black woman if an opening on the Supreme Court came up, because he cares deeply about representation and winning Georgia.
So, yeah, I mean, there's really that's about as true as it gets, Erin, right? I mean, this is payback in a lot of ways for Joe Biden for those 2 Senate seats that Democrats won in Georgia, not to mention what James Clyburn did for him in the election to begin with.
Yeah, Joe Biden is not going to put forward a black woman to be on the Supreme Court because it's a deeply held belief of him that the Supreme Court needs to be diversified, which unequivocally it does. But he didn't put that idea forward because he actually believes it. He did it after terrible showings in Iowa and New Hampshire during the Democrat primary. And him and Clyburn made a deal where if he said that he would put forward a black woman for the Supreme Court, if there was a vacancy opportunity, Clyburn would give him his support. This isn't about principle. It's not about the diversity. It's about trying to shore up the Democrat primary. And it's really disappointing. And you would think that Joe Biden would learn that instead of putting someone forward based on true merit and letting merit be the deciding factor, he decides to play partisan politics because he did the same thing with his vice presidential nominee. And I can tell you, Kamala Harris is an absolutely terrible vice president, let alone that awful cackle she has anytime anybody pushes her on anything, the border or anything else she's supposed to be handling. Joe Biden should actually put people forward based on merit and not based on poor political promises.
Laura, there were some on social media especially who said, why not just do this and keep your mouth shut? I mean, clearly, what Erin just described there sounds to me like politics. That's what it is, right?
Well, I mean, I also think it's about history and it's about diversity on the court. 3% of the federal judiciary is made up of black women. And clearly there are racial and gender barriers to getting women on any court. You can be assured that the black women that are under consideration have worked tooth and nail and are eminently qualified because they wouldn't have been able to get onto the federal bench given those barriers without having those credentials, that experience. And we know that diversity in corporate America leads to better decisions on the bench, particularly with voting rights and policing issues and other issues where your lived experience as a black woman are just as important as your credentials legally. These are the things that need to be considered. No doubt when Thurgood Marshall was placed on the court and served for 24 years during the top of the civil rights movement, it made an impact, and we are there again today.
I have just 30 seconds left, so I'm going to try to give you each 15. Play nicely here. Erin, is there any secret about how this is going to play out? Do any Republicans vote to confirm whoever it is?
It really depends on who is put forward. That's truly going to be the biggest deciding factor here. But this is a 50-50 split Senate. Right. Joe Biden would be a better president if he decided to try and lead from the middle and not from the extremes on the left like he has.
Laura, the president needs a win here, no doubt. Does this confirmation go smoothly, do you think? Do Democrats fall in line?
I think it'll be hard because they blocked Merrick Garland under a president that they know no bounds when it comes to rule breaking and obstructionism.
All right, Laura Fink and Erin Perrine, it's great to have you both. Thanks for the time.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
West Virginia Governor Jim Justice is known for speaking his mind, and he did just that at the end of his State of the State address. He included a message for singer Bette Midler, who called West Virginians poor, illiterate, and strung out when Senator Joe Manchin tanked the Build Back Better bill. The governor's message came, well, shall we say, at the tail end of his speech.
Baby dog tells Bette Midler and all those out there, kiss her hiney.
So Midler had actually already apologized to the good people of West Virginia for her, quote, outburst in a follow-up tweet. We're just glad the governor doesn't have a horse. What would you do if you got out of your car and someone demanded your keys at gunpoint? Happened to two women parked in their driveway. Take a look at this video. One of the suspects arrested, you see him come in from the yard there, just 11 years old. So how do you prepare for something like that? Well, a lot of people are doing just that. Even in the Texas synagogue hostage situation, the rabbi credited his training for their escape. Where do you get training like that? One option is a former CIA agent who teaches people how to respond if they find themselves in many of the situations we see play out on the news. That former CIA agent joins us now, Jason Hanson. It's great to have you, Jason. So the first question is, what is the most likely scenario people might find themselves facing, and how do they prepare for it?
Well, I mean, one of the most important scenarios is they're going to be followed home. Like you said, somebody's going to follow them to work, somebody's going to follow them home. And the easiest thing they can do is what we in the spy world call a surveillance detection route, SDR for short. And all that really means is if you think a car looks strange, just go around the block. Obviously, if that same car follows you in a circle or, in a square going all the way around the block, then you're being followed, call the police, don't go home.
Right.
So an SDR is one of the easiest things that anybody can do.
This video, I don't know if we can show it again, but you can tell the two women who are in the driveway actually know what's about to happen to them. In fact, I think I heard in an interview afterwards, they knew when they saw these two guys walking up the driveway, they said, uh-oh, this is not going to go well. I mean, put yourself in that position in this car. You know they're coming up the driveway. What do you do?
Well, for most people, most of my clients, I say, listen, if they just want the keys, if they just want money, give it to them, let them take the car. Obviously, your life isn't worth it. But if they make you get in the car, then you absolutely fight back. Because we know if criminals take you in the car, there's a very high likelihood that you're going to end up dead somewhere.
And what about these things we hear a lot about, too? We've heard several of these situations where people are getting pushed onto subway tracks. I'm sure that some of the tips here are simple as well. Be aware of your surroundings and stay away from the edge, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's situational awareness. You're not going to believe this, but I have a flip phone. I never sent a text message in my life. So when I'm out and about, I'm always scanning. I'm always looking around. I'm making sure nobody comes up from behind me. And if we just kept our heads up, a lot of us would be a lot safer.
What about carjacking generally? You said give the keys up. That's probably the best situation. I mean, anything you can do, I'm sure, to avoid any of this is that's the goal, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I'll put it this way. Another, kind of CIA term we use is movement saves lives. So if you're in your vehicle and you see somebody coming, just hit the gas pedal. Go backwards, forwards, whatever. You just freeze, you're likely going to get carjacked. So I used to live in Baltimore City, Maryland, not the world's safest place. I was almost carjacked once, but as soon as I saw the people run up to my car, I hit the gas, I got out of there. So remember, movement saves lives.
Leland Vittert starts at the top of the hour. Bob Costas on tonight.
He's here, and you helped me book him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's amazing how that happens.
Oh, from our conversation?
From our conversation, yes.
Okay.
And I'm going to begin, because there's going to be a long intro to Bob Costas, but I will begin by saying that in our conversation, you were right.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Anytime I'm right.
Well,
that's
there you go.
That's one thing I don't hear much at home.
Well, anyway, so Bob's on. I have a couple things to say, and then he's going to talk about the Beijing Olympics. And, he's been very outspoken, as you pointed out, about the communist regime, about the Olympics choosing Beijing and giving this regime another round and another sort of this big spotlight to the world without having to answer for any of the horrific things the Chinese regime is doing. Then we're going to get into one of your favorite subjects, which is the NFL.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And the NHL. After that, that's another one of my favorites. I thought you learned that already.
Yeah, well, I don't know anything about the NHL. I at least know enough about the NFL to ask some questions. But you guys have been talking about the ratings on the NFL.
Yeah, huge.
And, obviously they'd taken a real hit. We'll see why Costas thinks they're coming back.
Sounds good. Good guests. You'll see it at the top of the hour. This was quite a scene in New York today, and we're going to have more of this. Thousands of officers pay their respects to the slain NYPD officer Jason Rivera. It's our snapshot coming up. And to all our viewers out there, we want to thank you for making NewsNation the fastest growing cable news network in the country. We appreciate you watching. Back with more after this. Last night, the Donlon Report team, or at least some of us, went out after the show to a local pizza joint here in Chicago. It's called Pequod's. Great stuff. The restaurant was a little short-staffed, actually, to say the least. Our waitress covered the entire upstairs dining room. She bussed, served, did everything. And on top of that, when we put our drink order in, she told us, well, unfortunately, they had run out of fruit, ginger ale, Guinness, and the ingredients to make an old-fashioned. Sorry about that, Emily. Fortunately, they were not out of their famous pizza. We weren't complaining. The staff issued just another example here of what they call the new pandemic. And as you can see by the sign on the front door, be patient, folks. And if you're in Chicago, Pequod's still a great stop for pizza. Tonight's American Snapshot, we honor NYPD officer Jason Rivera, who was laid to rest today. Both Rivera and his partner, Wilbert Mora, killed while responding to a 911 call last week. Thousands of officers braved the snow to support their fallen brother in blue this morning, and the pictures were so amazing we wanted to share as many of them as we could here. And this one in particular. Tonight, we honor Officer Rivera and keep his family and entire NYPD family in their thoughts and prayers. That is our American Snapshot, and that is our time. Have a good night and a great weekend. On Balance, next. Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.